shot down all dishonesty that moved along my road. Nothing could get close enough to do me any harm, but the light from any window made me wish again that I was warm. If you ever spent the winter feeling frozen in the sun, kept alive by grand illusions that someday spring would come, well, I packed my bags and hitched a ride to the Gulf of Mexico, hoping that warmth would thaw me out. I took my book of truth and bow. I spent some time drifting there, still frozen to the bone, when a pretty girl I ran into said she'd like to take me home, secure in warm caresses. I felt better for a while. In the arms of sensuality, I thought out enough to smile. The grand illusion, the persistent grand illusion, finally found me out again and left me on the street, like priest, like rabbi, like prodigal son. There was no shame in being homesick when I knew I wasn't home. Well, I left my bow in New Orleans and I set out on my own, my book of truth tucked in my arm, and I wasn't gone for long when a sheriff's man detained me, and he told me with a grin he didn't care where I was going, he only cared where I had been. I served that time in Arkansas. By being poor, it seemed I had violated 16 counts of every legal dream. Well, I sold the judge my book of truth to pay my fine and cost, but I still had my illusion, so I headed for the coast.